What's up guys, quick build video for you today. I hope you like it. I'm actually really excited to get started myself. I'm going to be filming the whole process. It's going to be fairly simple so anyone can do this. Just a 30cm cube aquarium I'm actually using, just so you know the dimensions. It's a 25 litre, it was £25 from All Pond Solutions. You're only paying £1 a litre, but honestly this tank is awesome. It's an Opti-White as well, so it's more clear, but I'll show you what I'm doing first. First thing is I just want to remove this little sticky adhesive thing here, so I'll just get a razor scraper, and then what I'm going to do is you can literally just sort of scrape that off there until it's all gone. Well, first step is literally just cleaning this down. Okay guys, so first part of the process is I want to be adding a drainage layer to this. Now I've just got it on the stand there and put a light above it so it's a little bit easier for you guys to see. But what I want to do first off, like I say, is literally just add the drainage layer. So I'll be adding it in now, and you'll sort of see a sped up version of it. For the drainage layer, I'm just going to be using this sort of mesh. It's kind of like a plasticky mesh, but you use it in certain things like if you were going to line a driveway, you would put this mesh like a membrane. So obviously it's like a weed membrane basically, and that's all it is. And what I want to do is I've cut it to size. I made it slightly bigger than it needs to be, but as you know, or if you've watched my previous videos, you always want that slight overhang on there. So I'm just going to push that all down, flatten it down for now. Just like this, and then that's that there, and then obviously I can start filling it with soil. So the reason I use this one, or this terrarium potting soil, which I always use, is because it contains things like clay, calciums, peat litter, wood fibres, cocoa fibres, and I've just used it in all of my tanks and it's worked. Plants seem to love it, so I've just always used this. But as you guys know, I always use this barbecue charcoal, lumpwood charcoal, which is organic. It acts as like an active carbon layer within this, so I always use this charcoal. I always have some laying around spare from other builds, so I may as well just take advantage of that. So I'm just going to be adding this, and you'll see how I do that in the process. Now I'm not going to break it up, I'm going to keep it in sort of chunks as I add it in, but I'm going to try and keep those chunks relatively small. Okay, so there goes the drainage layer. Now if I zoom in, you can see the pieces aren't too big. There's a few big pieces in there, but generally I try to get to the bottom. And I'd advise wearing gloves when you do this. You end up with hands like that. So yeah, I would strongly advise wearing so now my soil mix, what I'm using is, now this is called bamboo forest floor. So the first thing is like leaf litter. And then the next thing is this here, which is like sort of bits of small debris, like twigs, things like that. I've got some bark chips, but to be honest, this one I'm only going to be using a couple of these or a little bit in the mix. And then I was quite lucky that I actually bought this plant and then it happened to match the bamboo forest floor and the sort of design I had in my head. I bought this little sort of half coconut water dish as well, so I can use that there. And what I'm going to do as well, and I'll just take you over here, is I'm going to mix it in that. But I'm also going to be adding this sort of calci dust to the mix, only a little bit, and then I'll sprinkle a little bit on the top afterwards as well. And I'll be putting some springtails in there too, because obviously, as you know, we always want springtails in with them. It's good to keep the soil fertilised, it's good to keep you know, the soil clean. And with that activated carbon, or well, charcoal, lumpwood charcoal in there, they'll absolutely love that. So what I did, I mixed some terrarium soil. I used a whole 5 litres because I'm actually building something else as well at the same time. So that, I used some live moss, I use that sort of them leaves I showed you, and then some cocoa fibre. Now I'm just about to mix all of this in, and then I'll be able to sort of start putting that into the tank anyway. I also just added some calci dust, which I'm literally just going to mix in like this. And then again, I'm going to flatten that down a little bit. Now I want the highest tilt towards this corner, being this sort of viewpoint is going to be there. So that's going to be the main focal viewpoint. So I want to get everything down, but then gradually steeper up until this corner. So I've already had that natural tilt on the glass anyway, or put it in, which you're normally supposed to do for that perception of depth. Now I'm going to probably add a little bit more soil in here. I don't think there's enough in there for now. I'm just looking at, yeah, I don't think there is, so I'm going to add maybe another 3 or 4 sort of little mini plant pot amounts, and that should suffice. To decide what hardscape I want to put in this, just so you can see that perception of depth. As you can see, it goes up there, not as much as I'd like it to. Now I've got more soil I'm going to add in, just get a little bit more height, maybe just about here, but not much higher than that. I still want that depth sort of going up this way into that corner there, so I'm going to try and keep the rest of it fairly low anyway. But it takes a little bit of time, just sort of getting it exactly how you want it in terms of that height. But I always pack it down so you can put more soil in, and ultimately it's just more media for them to use. But now what I need to do is put in the hardscape. Now, I wasn't too sure, and what I'll do is I'll take the camera off now. So I wanted to create that depth from this corner, hence why, you know, it looks how it does. I didn't actually have a design in mind. I kind of just I'm just winging this at the moment, to be honest. But either way, by the way, I'm going to be moving them lights and just so I can show you guys easier. But yeah, I'm going to put some ficus pumila in between those, put in those sort of what looks like mini bamboos. I'm going to sort of dot them around like a little forest. And then I'm going to go and trim some ivy and a small amount of my Fittonia. And then I'm going to be adding that in. So I'm going to just take some cuttings from my ant tank as well. kind of thought I was filming it, but it doesn't matter because a lot of it did get filmed as I was putting the plants in. The main thing I did here was I was taking out some bark as I was going, because there was certain plants I couldn't plant in because of the way the soil was, that sort of thing. Now I've took a couple trimmings from my Phoetonias, reason being is that I noticed those were slacking a little bit anyway. So I thought maybe I'll cut some trimmings and it'll sort of encourage them to grow a little bit more. I also then added some Ficus pumila and also some ivy cuttings from my tank as well. But other than that, I'm now just going to place a few pieces of moss here and there, sort of in these little areas, not too much. Maybe some there, sort of on the or in between pieces of the bark. Place some, so it's a little bit more natural. The more plant cover, the better for the millipedes. I know they'll probably appreciate more moss in here and that sort of thing. So I'll add moss in. Let me think. I'll put some just over here. And what I'll do is I'll lift that up, put some underneath slightly, so it gives that impression that it's coming out of it as opposed to being on top. There we go, it's better. And then last few pieces, maybe it's just up here in between these plants. And yeah, I think that's about it, to be honest. I don't really want to overdo it. You know, I feel like sometimes you can overdo and overegg the pudding, and obviously we don't want to over-egg it. Other than that, I think I might as well just start getting my lid and put my lid on. One last piece. Oh, my bad. If you guys look, sort of like the finished product. What I need to do though is spray it down. This lid, it was just basically I bought a, like what you would get in for vivariums for certain things. It's like a heat glass where you can put your thing on it and then attach it to the back. But with this, what I did is I used it as a lid and then kept it deeper at the back, and that way I was then able to have the plants touching that glass with that light. I am going to be moving certain things around, and obviously I need to now tidy this up. But that's the final result. I'm going to give it a good spray down, give it a good watering, wipe the glass, and then I'll show you the footage of me putting them in and putting in the springtails. Didn't end up using this. It was a little too big for the scape, and obviously, as you can imagine, it kind of threw the perception of how, you know, the whole build off. I hope you like the build. I'm going to put the millipedes in now. But I wanted to create sort of like a little bamboo forest. A little bit of banana there I put in. I also put some of that calci dust, sort of sprinkled it along the bark as well, so they can eat that. But these are the ones I've got. 1 second. I'll just get it out of the tub for you. I've got 2 of these, so just 2 of these anyway. So I'll be putting these in now and see what I think of the new home, eh? I mean, it's a lot better than these little plastic tubs, surely. They've got a mini forest there. Loads of hiding places, loads of plants, loads of life. And I think they'll be very, very happy in here. So I can't wait to just get these guys in. I've also, just so you know, I've put in springtails already. So this now has a springtail culture in it. Don't have to worry about much else now, really. There we go, so I've put them both in. First one's making a move, deciding probably where to stay for the night. I hope they like it in here. I was kind of hoping that it went for the banana there, but It didn't. It's okay. But yeah, really cool. The shell on them was pretty solid. So this one's going into there where, to be honest, I kind of thought it would go. It's quite heavy, so I can imagine it'll probably pull that water around a little bit. But they'll find their own little spaces, find their own little sort of hidey holes and where they prefer to chill out. This one's still curled up at the moment. It's huge. This one's big. Ah, don't be shy. But yeah, I hope they enjoy this little enclosure I've made for them. I really do. That one's still curled up. I know I picked this one up earlier, so it's probably a little bit more sort of scared for now. But we'll see. We'll see. There we go, both on the move now. What I'm going to do is just cover that little gap there. Maybe just cover it up with, not too sure for now. I think for now I might just put a little bit of tape over, but eventually what I want to do is just make like a little wooden slit that goes in there, so it looks more professional, but it's just like a little piece of wood that goes in. Ultimately I still need that ventilation, or still need that open, so we'll just wait and see you know, what I decide to do with it. I'm not too sure if they can get out of there, but I think that gap they probably can, just by sort of looking at them and looking at that gap. But they're now exploring the new territories, seem to be loving it. I'm not too sure, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Generally just following each other. I do hope I've got male and female, so if you do know how to sex these, then let me know please. Be good to know for me. Look at how long they are. Gosh. Probably should have left the plants maybe as a week or so, just to get a little bit more established, but we'll see. We'll see what happens anyway, we'll see. They are sort of on top of each other here. Don't know if you can see that, but one of them's riding the other one. Now these were kept together, so it might be that I've got a male and female, and if anything I kind of hope I do. But we'll see. Just went in the shower, came back down, and then noticed that one of them was eating the banana. Yeah, hey, success. So that's great. Really happy when they sort of start eating straight away. It's only ever a good sign. This one's getting tucked into that banana, so couldn't be happy with that. Really couldn't be happy with that. What's up guys, I hope you liked the video. Please remember to like and subscribe if you did, and hit that bell icon so you get all the notifications on my updates. Loads more stuff to come as you know, but this one was a bit of a surprise. I didn't sort of tell anyone I was getting millipedes, and to be completely honest, I've been doing some research on them, and it was sort of like a last minute decision when I was in the shop buying other things for my new crested gecko build. I saw the millipedes and I knew I had the tanks for them, and I thought I'm going to get them. But other than that, I hope you guys liked the build. Please leave a comment if you did as well. Let me know what you want. Let me know what build you want. I've got certain things where I actually don't know what I want to build yet. So let me know what you want me to build, if there's anything in particular. But other than that, guys, as always, from me at AntScapes, peace and love. I'm out.